All right, Shane. Well, hey, moving on. We got so many games to talk about here. How about Texas A&M at LSU? We thought this one would have a lot more on the line than it did, but hell, it's still a rivalry. These two still hate each other. This is looking like the final game for Coach O, certainly in Baton Rouge, but maybe, for all we know, he may never coach another game here, particularly as a head coach in the SEC. LSU players coming out here saying they're going to win the game. They want to win it for Coach O, while Texas A&M, just a little while ago, they were looking like the hottest team in the league, but they fell way short there against Ole Miss. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on this one? And for me, I really think I hate to be this simplistic, Shane, but I think it comes down to LSU's offense, which has been inconsistent against Texas A&M's incredible defense. The Tigers have got to find a way to manufacture some offense if they've got any chance in this game.
Well, the fact we have to struggle so hard to make storylines out of this game, Mike, that's my concern is, at the start of the season, hell yeah, this is one of those games I had circled that, maybe the winner of it's going to the SEC championship. Now it's like, well, maybe they'll give all they got for Coach O is one last time. And, what's Texas A&M playing for? They're coming off a horrible loss. So I don't know. This is going to have to come down to the seniors of these teams. This is going to have to come down to the coaching staff. This is going to be more behind the scenes. We can't manufacture the rivalry here. We cannot manufacture the energy that's going to be needed to win against these teams. Let's face it, LSU's defense is fantastic these days. Texas A&M defense, I think they're fantastic. I think it has potential to be one of the ugliest games we see, but it also has potential to be a damn good ball game. So this one here, Mike, I don't even know the spread is. I know we're going to get to our picks later this week. This is one of those that I have no idea where it's going to go. So it could be a great game. It could be a bad game, but better believe I'm going to be watching it.
What are the odds, Shane, that after the game, Jimbo Fisher just says, go on back to College Station without me. I'm staying here in Baton Rouge.
There's your storyline right there. Man, watch it. Coach O's watching him bring his stuff off the bus.
Yeah, at this point we know, or at least you never say never, but certainly looks like it's not going to be Jimbo. But you got to imagine he's going to be getting peppered with this one in the post-game interview.
Oh, yeah.
You know what?
Absolutely, man.
Jimbo, if I remember correctly, when you first arrived here, you were asked about this rivalry, and you said it might not necessarily be a rivalry yet just because of the wins and losses have been so one-sided. So do you feel like what you guys have accomplished since you've gotten here has created a rivalry?
Well, I can say whether it's a rivalry or whatever, they're important games because they're SEC West games. They're all the West games. I call them double whammies. Those are guys, they're league games and they're interdivisional games, and they're all rivalries to me. But, you're so close. Proximity, and you battle. We recruit Louisiana, they recruit Texas, like everybody does, but they're very close and have always had great success here. So I think that kind of makes it that way. And they're a great team. They're one of the teams we're going to have to contend with year in, year out because they always have great players.
And if I can follow up, if and when the SEC does do some realignment, would you like this to be an annual game that you play?
Listen, and I'll answer that question when I see what they put out there. I like playing a lot of the guys we already have. The tendency is because that's your habit of who you're playing and what you're doing and things that happen. You like the LSU, you want to play Alabama. Those are great games, but you'll have to wait and see what the interdynamic structure is. But this is always a great game because of how good they are. And hopefully how we're developing and the importance of this game. So it's always a great one to play, that's for sure.
Jimbo, you spent 6 years in Baton Rouge. What do you remember about Tiger Stadium, especially night games there?
Dynamic, atmosphere, fun. It was fun to be on that to feel that environment, atmosphere. Of course, when we had good teams. So it was, like you say, it was crazy. We were really good. We were winning national championships. We were winning SEC championships. We were one of the top teams in the country. I think we finished top 4 or 5 years of the years I was there. Broke into, I think 10, maybe top 10, 5 or 6 of the years, I don't know, whatever it was. But, very electric, very fun, great people. And they love their Tigers. It's a heck of an atmosphere, man. It really is. It's a great place to play at your home and a tough one to play when you're on the road. And for 2 reasons. Again, not only the atmosphere there, but the players on the field. They have really good players.
And then
Today, some of your players have expressed their excitement about you staying in A&M and continuing to build this program.
You sure?
That's before practice.
Ask him after practice. You caught him at a good time right before practice, didn't you? No.
Has that created a stronger, more loyal connection between you and your
Well,
players?
I think it is. There's a trust. I mean, you have to trust. Listen, people always say, all right, the players, you got the players' career in your hands. Well, they got our career in our hands. It's a trust factor. This is a give and take. But you can understand, it's just like your parents. You love your parents, but somebody's got to be in charge. Or somebody that got to tell you what to do, how to do it. But also, after you get done chewing on their butt and getting on them or hugging, whatever it is on the field, telling them they're doing right, put your arm around them when they're walking off and say, this is why I did that. Understand this is the purpose of this. There's a bigger picture. And you have to, I'm coaching the guy you can be, not who you are. And you have to be pushed, prodded, and you have to learn to be uncomfortable to be a great player. Get comfortable being uncomfortable, being pushed, being challenged, being constantly good enough is never good enough. And learning to master something and learning to drive your mind to a point where you never take a play off. And that there's somebody there that's challenging, man. That's demanding and that's hard. And I think from that standpoint of building that trust and love between each other, which is what I think it's about, it's doing that, but them also understanding everything you say is for their best interest. And then you tell them at the afterwards, you put your hand around them, and they can still be mad. And we can agree to disagree, but understand it's not coming from a bad place. And I think that's where that trust comes from. Hopefully they have it in me. I definitely have it in them, and we're developing each and every day.
Coach, I know you said Saturday after the game that the main objective is beat A&M this week. Afterwards, though, the players were saying, were very candid and said they're playing for you this week. They're practicing, preparing for you. Just what's your initial emotions, reactions to that?
Well, I appreciate that. I love those boys. They know that. But I want them to play for them. I want them to win for the Tigers, and it's never been about me. I've been in a great situation here the whole time, and I want them to win for themselves. This is about them.
I think Max has 5 games where he's thrown for 300 or more yards now during his career, across the past 2 years. How have you assessed his play? Maybe this past weekend when you look at a game like that where he may miss some, but overall you look at the stat sheet and he's had a really big game.
Yeah, I think he played really well. We all want our quarterback to be perfect. We all want Joe Burrow back there. And he wants to be perfect too, but nobody plays a perfect game. There's still some things to grow. He's still holding the ball way too long, but sometimes he's holding the ball, the guy's not open. You can't blame him. And then a couple of times they went zero blitz on us. We didn't pick the guy up, he gets sacked. So it's a combination of getting better on offense, a combination of calling better plays, and a combination of him getting rid of the ball quicker.
Hey, Coach, I've had a lot of fans ask me, what are you going to do when you're done here? They can't see you doing anything but coaching. What is your answer for them? They want to know.
Tell them I'll be in good shape. I'm taking a year off for sure. I got some things I got to get done. I'm going to take a year off for sure, and I'm going to see what happens after them.
It may be hard to sift through it all now, and maybe you'll do more reflecting, once y'all are actually have played the games. But when you look back on your tenure, what are you going to remember most about being the coach at LSU?
The day-to-day basis, the excitement to come to work, seeing the players going out and recruiting, coming down the Tiger Walk, the 2019 season, the getting the big recruit, going out there and competing with all the coaches and all the players we've been through has been phenomenal.
Ed, just in a general sense, does the good outweigh the bad?
Say again?
Does the good outweigh the bad over these 5 years for you?
Oh, yeah. No question. I ain't had a bad day yet. I'm not going to have a bad day. I think I'm going to make it.